time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking, but be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ? I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
No one ever plans a car accident.
You're on the air the whole time, the entire time you're on the air. You've never stopped. Your whole life you've been on the air. Wait, hold on. You're live.
A lot of cards, a lot of Netflix, buddy. That's all right. So you can debut your beach body next weekend.
Yeah,
right,
we're having some
summer?
issues here, I think, on the sound. Brendan, are we okay?
Yeah,
Some of the
you guys
people.
are having some internet issues now. We seem to be worked out now. It looks like you're good coming out of there now.
Okay.
You guys are good
All right.
to go. It looks like
All
you're
right.
having a little bit of an internet hiccup, but you guys are sounding loud and clear now.
All right, we're
All
good
right.
to go,
Hopefully
buddy.
they
And bottom of the hour, we're going to hear from Urban Meyer, the former Gator coach and Ohio State Buckeyes coach. We'll do that today on the show. We're going to get into the news and notes of the day. The Gator baseball team's got a game coming up real soon against LSU. Plenty of college football to talk about. The college football preview magazines are out. They have some fun stuff to talk
You've
about.
been talking about that for 3 weeks, those magazines.
Well, I
guess-
I know kids today don't grab the magazine anymore. Magazines are like at the checkout line. If you got a long line at Publix or Walmart or whatever store, you look at the magazine as long as you can, then you put it back.
But you
It's like
you still get fired up. I've got this
I like
story
it.
today for you, especially.
You got a story?
100-day, no, CBS had it.
Oh.
Pretty good story. 100-day countdown to start of college football, and 100 things to get you fired up.
I love it.
Now, I'm not going to read them all, but I've got a few.
mean,
I want to give you the kudos. You're right about the magazines. People got excited. We posted a picture on our site, Jordan and Scarlet,
Yeah.
in all white.
Yeah.
That thing got hammered by people. I mean,
I
it's
love it.
12,000, 13,000 people. Apparently, they're uniform people, right?
Yeah.
So that got people fired up.
Uniforms matter, buddy. I know that
I
you
know,
don't
I
think
do.
it-
I love uniforms. I do.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man,
I'm a
boy,
uniform guy.
You've changed your tune, haven't you?
No, I've always loved uniforms. Yeah.
Having
I
a
like
good-looking uniform.
all green and white and Wildcats. And
Oh, yeah.
didn't have yellow back in those days.
Wildcat
What's your
uniform.
favorite uniform?
For what, Florida?
No, any college football. Other than the Gators, okay?
Wow, that's a good question.
Don't say Florida State.
No. Florida State's got ugly uniforms.
You like Alabama? You like Penn State? You like the solid.
I kind of like the powder blue at UCLA. I think that's a good look.
It's a wuss look.
And I grew up being a Clemson fan, so I always loved that Clemson orange.
Well,
with the paw,
it's all
tiger
about,
paw.
It's all about what
all
you
orange
love,
tiger
your
paw.
team. You love the color of your team.
Right.
What you do, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. It's a good question. We won't try to do, but what is your favorite uniform? Your old partner, Shane, used to love uniforms.
Oh, he's a uniform guy.
Alabama.
What's your favorite Gator uniform? Because most of our fans or listeners are Gator fans. Do you like the blue and the white? Remember when that long ago it was orange and white?
I know.
So
I know.
all orange, all blue. I love the alligator skin uniforms last year. Love those.
You're killing me with that.
Those were great. Love
killing
those.
me with that.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
See, he knows.
What?
Buddy, I can just kind of mix right in with the younger 20 crowd.
Yeah, you fit right in with 25-year-olds.
Being 30 is tough, but I gotta hang with it. You know, I gotta roll with it. You know, it's tough when you turn 30, but I'm dealing with it.
You had the 20th anniversary of your 30th birthday, what you did. But nonetheless, hey, you know what? I do like the all blue.
Yeah?
I like the all blue. Yeah, I do like that, I got to say. But the all white looks pretty cool. Anyway, today on the program, we're going to talk about Urban Meyer. The interview with Urban Meyer, I got some questions. It was so long, I had to cut it in two. And I had to remember which half is on which.
Yep.
But among the things he talked a little bit about Joe Burrow, but not personally. He didn't want to get into the person. But you know what? Would you think Urban Meyer would be pro grad transfer or against grad transfer?
He's probably against it.
See? You're wrong, football breath. He's for it.
Why did he make that kid come back? He should have gone pro. What's the big, tall kid?
I don't know the story, but I can tell you this much.
Yeah.
I can tell you that he had one of the first. Did you know he had one of the first grad transfers?
No, which
one? A little bit of history.
Well, here's the thing about Urban.
An All-American who came here.
To Florida?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a
let's see if they can name him.
Grad transfer.
Played on a national championship team, grad transfer.
Can't think of anybody.
DB. All right, let's see if the people can get to it, all right?
Oh, Ryan Smith from
Good
Utah.
job from Utah. Yeah,
Ryan Smith from Utah.
That's
Yeah, he
correct.
was a good player. He was an All-American? He wasn't that good.
Yes, he was.
He couldn't start on Florida's team the last 4 years.
He made a lot of
I know, he wouldn't start in today's secondary. He wouldn't have started the last 4 years.
Brady, what's that got to do with anything?
Because he
was all your shirts.
He was that's fine. I help him. Get one. Take him with you. Help yourself.
The ones on the bottom, however, are not. Those are the ones.
No, I brought in shirts. I just brought in a bunch.
Yeah, there you go.
Take them. That's what they're there for.
Is the PA on here? I don't know if it is or not.
Mitch, can you hear us back there? Yeah, he can hear us. He's not paying attention though.
Well, no, you got some shirts up here.
Yeah, we got shirts. So
Brady, on the Brady Ackerman show.
Ryan Smith. Yeah,
Ryan Smith.
Give that.
Yes,
wasn't that his name?
It was Ryan Smith. Yes. Anyway, yes, Sean Hankins says Ryan Smith.
I think Urban's for anything that, and I should have known this with the grad. I think Urban's for anything that helps the players. Remember when they made the national championship game the first year, after they beat Alabama, he was a reason why the NCAA decided, we got a game the next week. We ought to be able to help the parents of the players get there. So the NCAA restructured the way that they allow the travel squad to include parents or whatever to fly the parents to the games. Because, parents, they're not going to be able to afford to fly to Pac-12.
Exactly.
SEC, New Orleans one week and Pasadena next time. The only person in this bar that could probably do that is you, buddy, with your deep pockets. But so Urban got that done.
Yeah.
People don't remember that. He got that done. So he gets a lot of things. He has a voice. Him and Saban have a voice that's very strong in college football.
Yes.
And I think Urban's all about the players, so I agree with that.
I did a side-by-side comparison today of those guys. I got
again?
Well, no, I just looked at the number of wins. Urban's winning percentage is actually better.
Who would you take right now?
I'd take Saban.
No, I'd take Urban.
No. If you talk
who would you take, Mitchell? Urban or Saban right now?
You got to explain the question.
Who would you take right now?
For long term, I'd take Urban.
No, not long term. Today, who do you want as your football coach? If Florida could hire Urban or Saban, you'd take Saban. All right? Urban or Saban. If Dan Mullen got the Dallas Cowboy job tomorrow, and there are only two applicants.
You didn't say that. Who would you take? You
say
hire back. I thought
No,
you meant
forget about
in
hiring
their
back.
present.
I don't know.
I'm talking about where they're coaching now. I mean, nothing to do with coming to Florida. Who do you take?
Well, I don't know. I mean, why would you hire a coach? What's your school? Aren't you a Florida guy?
Your questions better.
Or did you go to Colorado School of the
You have a
Mines?
problem on the sidelines. You don't explain your questions.
My questions are very easy to the coach.
Okay, well,
your
let me
thoughts.
see. Over in
Your
China,
thoughts.
I take this guy.
Look,
and
my questions are like this, buddy. They're like a slow-pitch softball game to the head coach.
Well,
your thoughts on the first half.
And they're incomplete. Just
Yeah,
so you know.
absolutely.
So if you explain what you meant, then a person will be able to give you an intelligent answer. Anyway, the Urban Meyer interview, we talked a little bit about grad transfers. We talked about Mike Slive. He had a lot to say about Mike Slive. I didn't know this, but he argued a lot with Slive. And toward the end of his career, he and Slive got into it pretty good. But then Urban apparently called him up as once he got there to sort of apologize how he left, and he wanted to make sure he thought the world of Mike Slive. He considered him a mentor, and a guy that he was really thought did a heck of a job. So Mike Slive at the time when he called him had prostate cancer, and Urban didn't know it. So a big fan of his. Also, Earl Bruce was his guy.
Yeah,
Earl Bruce died during the last year. And regarding Joe Burrow, he didn't have a lot to say about that. One more question for you. Did you get a chance? You didn't get a chance to watch any of the Scott Brantley. It was the Bryant Gumbel Real Sports HBO thing last night. Mm-hmm. I taped it and watched today. Scott Brantley is a large part of that, and I got to tell you this right now, I'm outraged.
Yeah,
I'm
terrible.
Completely outraged about this. I can't go into it all right now. I get angry about it. When you see what this man went through with, I won't go into this whole story now. He admitted on air that he has Alzheimer's.
Right.
And it was so sad to watch it. I love Scott. He's a friend of mine. He's a great player, a Wildcat, a Gator, a Buck, and he gave everything he had, and now in his hour of need, the NFL has screwed him.
Yep.
Just screwed him.
They've left him out to dry, and
he's just not right, Brady. It's just not right.
I read about the piece on HBO last night. Joe Henderson did a nice job today writing. I think he's still. I don't know if he's still with the Tampa Tribune or right with another.
Who?
Joe Henderson.
Yes,
he used to be with the Tribune. He's writing for somebody to play football. You and I both know Scott really well. Did radio with Scott early on in my sideline career. Obviously, he and I worked Super Bowls together. When the Patriots lost to the Giants, we did Radio Row the whole week in Arizona. We did Radio Row the whole week in Miami when Peyton Manning won his first Super Bowl. And to see it was one of the 5 toughest players to ever suit up in a Gator uniform. No question.
I agree with you. And I'll tell you something else.
Absolutely.
He wasn't All-American, but he was an All-SEC, and he would have been All-American had he not played in such a bad team, and he didn't play his senior year.
Oh.
But he was as good a linebacker who ever set foot on that field, ever.
He was good. Good player. And I'm going to catch that over the weekend. I'll see if I can find that and watch it. But reading about it, it's sad. And
really
knowing
is.
him and watching it happen in front of us, buddy, he's just doing local radio not that long ago. But he's just gotten to where... it's sad when you see a friend like that.
I don't want to bring the show down, but it just made me outraged. I don't know what's going to happen out of it. Anyway.
Well, maybe our listeners out there can get behind Scott. And
well, you know what? I got some
ideas.
I've already talked to. Okay. I talked to a guy today.
He's got some
financial
problems.
I talked to a guy whose name is on this show today.
Okay.
Part of it, and just say, you know what? What do you do? Do you just do nothing, or do you say, what can we do? I don't know what. He didn't get a penny of that money, of that $1 billion. The attorney who had the suit gets $70 million. $70 million. Scott Brantley is not getting a dime. So you tell me what's wrong with that picture. All right. Don't get me started, okay? All right, so what fires you up? Subject today. We'll have Urban Meyer in about 15 minutes. We have 100 things that fire you up. Uniforms fire you up.
Yep.
Look, just waiting for the kickoff of the first game of the year fires you up. You can't not get fired up about We Are the Boys when it's sung. That's my favorite thing they do. Of course. Oh, man. Swaying back and forth. Swaying back and forth.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't know if it fires me up.
How about Cheer for the Orange and Blue? That's a good one. Fight song.
No, I don't like that. We have a terrible fight song.
Dude, you are such a downer.
No, it's just
Why
it's
don't
not
you go
really
broadcast that team in Tallahassee for crying out loud?
There's no good either. Any fight song that was written before 1940 is not a good fight song.
Okay. What do you like then for crying out loud?
Well, I like the Tom Petty deal they're doing. Won't back down. I think that's is that a 1 year deal?
That was a one-time deal, though.
No, they're going to keep it going.
Well, I know, but we've only seen it one time, 1 year. So
they'll keep it going. Can you imagine if we actually have a good team and there are actually fans are still there in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, that's good.
It's going to get better. It's not going to get worse.
Yeah, so you don't like any of the old traditions, so you want to throw everything in.
I don't like
throw it all out, start over.
No.
Maybe we'll change the uniforms.
Do you like the Gator
maybe
Walk?
We'll make them. We'll make
the Gator Walk is 14 years old.
Urban Meyer put it in.
Okay, it's 14, 15
By the
years
way,
old.
incorrectly, he was given credit for the alma mater. That was Steve Spurrier who had him sing that. You remember, he made you sing the alma mater.
I don't remember
They did.
No, we took pictures.
No,
he
brought
pictures.
the alma mater in there. And
nobody
knew the words.
We didn't.
You didn't because you didn't pay attention. You look at the girls in the stands. It's like,
probably accurate.
So Urban Meyer coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll talk to him about his philosophy about players and a little bit about his team. Not a whole lot. We didn't talk a lot of football, actually.
No.
We didn't talk a lot of football.
Well, it's that time of the year. And remember what you said a couple of weeks ago about Urban was, and I forget the percentage, but it was flip-flopped the other way, that nowadays as a coach, 70% is other stuff, life skills,
right,
and 30% is X's
80-20
and O's.
now. It used to be 70-30 the other way.
Yeah, 80-20. And I think in large part with him, and people don't want to hear it like this, but the X's and O's part, you only have 20 hours a week. B, kids can only retain so much. So it's more, what makes Urban a great coach and Saban a great coach is their attention to detail and fundamentals. They are fundamentally sound football teams. They know how to practice the right way. They know how to get bigger and stronger in the offseason. So I do believe a lot of his coaching is done between the years and life skills and those types of things. I don't think he's out X and O on everybody. I think he's out executing everybody. Execution is the key to those guys' success.
We talked today, this will be in the second part, about Dan Mullen, about how Mullen was in on the invention of the offense that Urban ran at Bowling Green and in Utah, was so successful with it and brought to Florida. And we all said, what's this funky offense? I never heard of it.
It'll never work.
Never work here.
It'll never work in the SEC.
West Conference is bad. It's not, that's the SEC, right?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It stunk the first year, but then after that, Tebow got a hold of it. Well, Leak did a good job. Yeah. They was really good. Yep. Yeah.
And
Percy Harvin.
I talked to Urban today about
Percy Harvin makes any offense look good.
That period of time, I said, what does it mean? You think about what you and Billy Donovan did in 2006, 2008. He said, he says, that'll probably never be done again. I said, hello? No, sir, ever. Probably not in any school, let alone Florida. And that was an amazing run. Brady, look in the rearview mirror now. We'll go take a break. How big is that?
That was probably the pinnacle.
The greatest of all.
Of being a Gator fan.
It was the
media member fan, whatever you were. That run was, I don't even think Alabama had as much swag right now as Florida had in that three-run run. As a team, as a football program, as a basketball program, no one's ever going to win back-to-back. Although Villanova's pretty good. They've done 2 out of 3.
But they're going to win in football, so there you go.
Yeah, but what Florida did, that was amazing.
Not every back-to-back, but there, 2-3 year period. By the way, I don't like that GOAT thing anyway, do you?
The what?
Greatest of all time GOAT thing. I don't like that.
What, labeling it the GOAT?
Yeah.
No, I
don't like it. I was going to say you call it the GOAT period, but that sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't like that. Goats are for
of course, you don't like much of anything, so there you go.
Well, that's not true. I just don't like much of what you like.
You don't like
I like a lot of things, buddy. We don't have a lot in common.
I got a new name for you. Negative Ned. That's you. Negative Ned.
Be quiet. I'm going to start calling you Wilton again.
Yeah, that's okay. That's my name.
Wilton.
By the way, let me tell you something I know you like. This place, the World of Beer.
I love it here.
Every Wednesday we come here. People are loving your T-shirts you're giving out here.
Gobble them up.
And we like coming here because it's a great venue. Like the people that come here, the service, the food. This place is special. In fact, I should turn the camera around, but this has been voted the #1 bar and pub in Gainesville 2 consecutive years. There's a reason, because, the atmosphere, one, how nice is that out, looking outside the greenery, and then the outdoor. The patio's not too big because it's warm, but of course, there are all kinds of beer. Next week's a big event, which we'll talk about. It's the Tap Takeover, Brady. The Funky Buddha Brewery. They'll have 11 brews on draft, and they want to give away $1 to charity, Cedar Key Dolphin Project, for every beer they sell next week, the 22nd. So check that out. But anyway, one thing that's well kept secret around here is the food.
Yep.
I'll be eating again here tonight. You can find some nice dishes. It's a reasonable price, and we love it here because it's our home away from home. You'll see us here a lot in this next 6 months or so. Brady will drop in once every 6 months to say hi because he's on his other assignment, and they're having a lot of fun. So check out the World of Beer. If you're coming up on I-75, you turn the Newberry Road, go west, go almost 3. The mayor of Newberry, by the way, is here today, just so you know. Nat,
put him to work.
Yeah, go about 3 miles and go to the Tiago Town Center. Take a left and right in the back, and that will be us right here on the Buddy Martin Show. Okay, all right, you got the news stuff there. What you got in the way of news today?
Well, news. Florida baseball plays at 5:30 roughly. They're playing LSU. Single elimination was yesterday. Now they get into the double elimination. Looks like if they can, they'll hold Brady Singer till Saturday. They'll probably throw the two young guys these first 2 games, see which one they can count on going into postseason play. Singer, who was held out last week, probably could have pitched with a little twinge in his hammy or whatever, but he'll be ready to go. He's fine. Yeah. And so this is one of those situations where I think, Florida's coming off that sweep loss. They want to get that taste out of their mouth. I know that from what I gathered from my intel that Sully's riding them pretty hard. I don't think they want to be 2 at a barbecue and go into the tournament 5 straight losses. So I do think they'll show up. But one of these young pitchers, Mace or the other guy's name escapes, Leftwich. One of these 2 guys, the 2 freshmen. One of these guys, he step up and show that they want to be the guy that'll either be the long reliever or could be a spot starter in a 5-game weekend. So
this is not good news. Lentendo just reporting this.
What?
J.J. Schwartz out 2 weeks with a broken bone in his hand.
That's too bad. The big thing is they got to get India hitting again. He won Player of the Year, but he hadn't been hitting, and everybody kind of feeds off of Jonathan India.
Yeah.
So when he's not hitting, no one's hitting. And now with Schwartz out, 2 weeks, that means what, the regionals?
Yeah.
Be back next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
So he sits out.
Do you think they'll pull out of this? You think it's just temporary or what?
Yeah, I think it's temporary. I mean, they got big league arms. They're going to get a top 8 seed. That's all you want. Right now, they're 3rd in the country after getting swept. Depending on how they do in this tournament, they'll be a top 8 national seed. They'll play at home in a regional that won't have Florida State in it,
right? Which
wouldn't matter anyway because they always beat Florida State. But, I think, remember last year they lost a game in their regional.
Yes.
So I think they'll get there.
Bracket.
I feel like, they remind me of like the Chicago Bulls or like Golden State after they win a title. They're kind of just trying to get to Omaha and see where they land. And I think they got enough pitching to do that. But I would like to see India get back to swinging the bat a little bit better.
I agree. Okay, let's talk about scheduling.
I was
a little surprised by this, and I'm not. I think it helps actually helps USF more than Florida probably, but I like it. I think it's really good. We've got really good football teams in our state schools playing each other. I'm really glad to see this USF Florida schedule coming up, being on 3 games. What do you think about that? 20?
Well, 2 for 1 is what, in the old days it would just be 2 games in Florida, but now it's a 2 for 1. The Gators have to go to Tampa, which is a good place to go because there's a lot of Gator fans, and South Florida can't sell their stadium out anyway.
Game.
Yeah, South Florida's not going to sell their stadium out anyway.
Plenty of tickets.
So that's a good 2 for 1. It's almost like 2 in a neutral site because 30,000 Gator fans will be in that stadium along with 30 if USF can get 30. Whereas in the old days, 2 for 1 is frowned upon because you lose that money. But I like it. I think it's I want to see them play Miami more, which they're going to play next year. I'd like to see Florida step outside on these non-conference games and go play the USC's and the Michigan like they did last year. To me, that was fun, except for the game when I stunk it up. But to me, that's fun, man. You don't have anything to lose in a game like that.
Yeah, I'd
don't
like
play
to,
it.
I'd like to see him play South Florida and UCF. I guess that will be on the schedule. Scott Strickland says he's trying to play. Got Miami coming up next year, right?
That's in Orlando.
Season, 2 years from now. So he's playing
19.
Think of the great football being played in the state. Now the teams in Tallahassee and Gainesville have been down. But that's not going to last long. And remember the days, Brady, when it was an automatic loss for a team to come to the state of Florida to play Miami, Florida State of Florida. They were like 81-1 or some ridiculous stat.
Right.
They owned it. So it'll be fun to see how these teams.
That's
do.
a losable game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not ready, South Florida's a good program. Charlie Strong's got to replace a quarterback, so he's got 2 years to do that.
Yeah.
But, that's a good program, man. They got good players at South Florida. That game they played against UCF this year is one of the funnest, most entertaining games I've watched all season. That was a good game.
Yes, it was. Nothing else to get you fired up?
A glass of water, Mike. But other than that,
glass of water? We can get you a glass of water. I know people here. I know people.
I don't want your water.
I'm not going to give it to you.
I don't want
sort of taunting you with
anything else that fires me up. I mean, I like the 2-for-1. I think it'll be good. I haven't looked that far ahead at Florida's schedule, but I think playing South Florida is good. The last time we played South Florida, I think Brantley started that game. It was 227 degrees in the stadium.
Come on.
My scalp burned that day. Ask
you,
anybody who was ever
whine
thinking
about it being. You got a sideline seat.
It was hotter than
you got a bird's eye view. You complain about the heat. What kind
it
of?
Was do people remember that game? Was that 2010?
You're a prima donna.
It was absolutely boiling hot. It's the hottest game I've ever been in Florida.
So sweat a little bit. Work. What you supposed to? Aren't you getting paid down there?
No, actually, I paid them to be on.
Oh, they're getting the raw deal.
Yeah. My agent negotiated that.
Yeah.
I pay them. But no, I remember it was very hot, and that'll be fun. I think Ahmad Black had a couple picks in that game.
Yeah, I liked Ahmad Black. He was a smart football player. I thought he was
good player.
All right, so
we got that scheduling. Gators stepping outside, doing some scheduling. In-state smart. Why not? Gives the Gator fans a chance to go. If you're going to play out of state, you got to do the neutral site Michigan type games because you get the equal gate.
Yes.
You don't lose anything getting that $3.5-4 million when you play those neutral site games. That's why Alabama plays them. I think they announced they're playing USC 2020 in a neutral site game. That'll be, that's a road game with money. Thank you, Joni. I'll tell you one thing.
I know. I'm married.
You're so lucky.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my mom. Back off.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm just saying, Wilford here is very lucky to have such a nice lady.
Wilford.
What a wonderful person she is. I don't know how she ended up with you.
I'm going to start calling you.
What did you, I mean.
Remy.
What?
Call me Wilford. No, it's not Wilford. What's your
I thought it was
name?
Wilford.
What's your middle name?
I'm not telling you
See?
that.
You want to taunt me of my first name, which I love, by the way, and you want to taunt me.
You love your first name so much you won't even use
your
it.
middle name?
My middle name is Kenneth. It's named after my late grandfather who passed with cancer. And you're cold.
Oh.
Ken, the Barbie
who do you think
doll.
I was named after?
Who do you think
My dad.
Barbie dated? Ken.
Yeah.
Boom.
They missed a generation with you, pal. So a lot of people are saying that they don't agree with you on things like that USF
like
series.
What? You don't like it?
It's a bad deal. One of our listeners.
What do you want?
Also,
I mean, I would rather
Tony
play.
says the USF deal is terrible. They're going to play in Tampa than play in Miami there. US should charge us $150 ticket if they're smart. I don't know. Auburn, by the way, 9-3 Grand Slam. I don't have a baseball score from the Gators. Anybody got one? They started at 5:30.
No,
right?
I hadn't started yet, I don't think.
The delay. Oh, they have extra.
I have to wait for that game to finish. That game finished?
Okay, well, Auburn leaves it. All right, so that's why. All right, let's
Tony
do
will
this.
let us know what's going on in the baseball game.
All right, I'm going to, Brendan, you want to hear
Stan,
do our
Dan Cox.
Dan Hightower first, and then come back to the Urban Meyer. What do you want to do?
I mean, really, it's just your world. I'm living in it, so whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Really, whatever you want to do, sir, we're prepared on our end.
Let's talk to Urban Meyer.
All right, let's hear from Urban Meyer.
My pleasure and honor to welcome back to the program Urban Meyer, one of the winningest coaches in college football history, still getting it done at Ohio State. And there's so much to talk about. I wish I had an hour, but it's a pleasure to have you back on the program again, Coach. Hope you and your family are doing well.
Everybody's great, buddy. Thanks, and always good to talk to you.
Urban, I want to start with my condolences. The loss of Earl Bruce. I haven't talked to you since that's been a while back. I know he was like your dad, and we've talked about him a lot in the book we did together, and you've talked about him a lot. So I know that was a tough time for you.
It sure was, and other than my father, not ironically, but it's amazing how similar the two were. And you knew them both, and your God places certain people in your life, and I'm very grateful that I had two guys like that have had so many similar qualities and have taught me. And I try to, even to this day, they're both gone, but to try to do the right things and things that would make them proud.
You once said if you cut them both open, you'd find the same kind of insides of your dad and, of course, Coach Bruce. So R.I.P. to him. And then recently, Mike Slive. I did not realize how close you were to Mike Slive. And I read a story. I don't know how accurate it was, but I know that you called Mike Slive when he first got ill with his prostate cancer and had a conversation. Ostensibly, the story said you wanted to, I don't know if apologize is the right word, but explain your departure from University of Florida. Is that accurate, or is that the wrong characterization of that?
Someone else asked me about that. I guess there was an article and said that, I called Mike Slive and I spent a lot of time together, and I was there obviously for quite a while, and we would get in arguments about certain things that were going on in the SEC at the time, but it was always very respectful and obviously a great admiration for all that he did for our conference. And if you remember back, and we were the first team, it was 2006 that started that run. And I remember sitting in meetings back when he was our commissioner. We were just, I got there, and what was it, 2005, I believe, and we just would talk about how hard and how great our league was. And it was back in the time where not everybody, they had respect for the SEC, but not at the point that it took off to. So we had many, many conversations, and then, when there were other things that went on within the league that were also well publicized, that we had some disagreements. And so I just felt like I did reach out to him. I can't remember when it was, but it was sometime afterwards. I just had a great conversation with him about, because there was a lot of perception out there. I left the SEC for some reason and left Florida for some reason. I just thought it's no reason to, reach out to a friend, and we had a great conversation.
Yeah, I didn't know. He certainly has given a lot of kudos, and people remember him fondly, what he did. You mentioned the run, and you, of course, were one of the ones who started it. And to go back to that magical time, hey, Coach, it's 10 years now since the 2008 championship, believe it or not. And you, of course, had that great run. You and Billy Donovan had that unprecedented run. I don't know what you call it. There was a name. I guess you call it the greatest years ever for the Gator Nation, and it was a remarkable time and thing. And I know you're the kind of guy that presses forward, and you'd like to continue to compete, and you've done a fabulous job at Ohio State. But every now and then you allow yourself to think back, and when you're finally settled down on Lake Melrose and you're kicking back and you're thinking about your career and your time, how special will it be to think about what you and Billy accomplished together there at the University of Florida?
Yeah, if you think about it, I would be hard pressed to think that'll ever happen again. It came together, and Coach Donovan started off in 2006, and I remember I was fortunate enough to be one of the Gators that went up there that sat in the locker room when they beat UCLA in Indianapolis for their first one, and that was in 2006. And then, sure enough, I remember sitting in the locker room when he invited me down there and watching that team come in off the court, and thinking, my gosh, if I could somehow just get my team in this locker room. Are you kidding? I've never witnessed anything like this. The players, the Joakim Noah, Brewer, Horford, and all of them, and how they got along, all the accumulation of all that hard work. And my dream was to somehow get that into our locker room. And so I had Billy speak. We have Champions Day. To this day, we still do it. And we tried to bring our players in the championship locker room. And it would eliminate all the other stuff that gets in the way of that. If every player could just experience it, there's no way you would do something to hurt your team or hurt your chances to get to a situation like that. So it was a great time. It was a unique time, a time that I'm sure people will never forget.
Of course. There was a long article written by Bruce Feldman, I believe it was, about what your take on things were today. And I thought it was quite revolutionary what you said. If this thing is accurate, and I assume it is, it looks like he talked to you and Nikki Marotti and whatever, and you have these meetings that you started out at Florida and carried them over into real life situations. The story said those closest to Meyer say his focus has shifted. Marotti says that in the early years of his Ohio State tenure, Meyer would return from vacation armed with ideas to help make his guys better football players. Now Meyer is consumed with finding ways to help his players better navigate what the head coach sees as a very, very volatile world around them. And you quoted, it's probably 80-20 now, he says. When I was younger, it was 30-70 more football. What was the change, Irvin? I think I know some of the answers there. What was the change in this, and how critical is this thought process?
Probably age and experience, and then also realizing this at times very troubling world we're living in right now, and seeing what young people are experiencing. And I'll give you an example of opiate. A year ago, I had no idea what an opiate was. To understand that that's an epidemic across this great country, to see the political nature and atmosphere across this country, to see the respect issues amongst law enforcement, and then the other side, and our players are getting it from somewhere, because that's just the way the world works. You're going to listen, and all these cell phones, all this, they're going to hear it from somewhere. Why not hear from the experts? And the experts, I have people come in and speak to our team constantly. We have open dialogue about it because I want to hear, I want to see, and it's our job as educators to make sure that they're hearing the right information and the truth of how to handle certain situations. So amount of time, matter of fact, tomorrow we're going to have another one, a huge workshop. It's called the R Factor Workshop. And it's all on how to respond to situations that you can't control the events in life, but you can control your responses. And so instead of focusing on the events, focus on how you're going to handle those situations. And we, like I said, that article is very well done. And we spend an inordinate amount of time on that.
Okay. Urban Meyer there talking about the article. Brady, I gave you a copy to read later on. Interesting how coaches change after they've been in the game a while.
Yeah, I think that experience helps everything. You know, I mean, you look at it, you got to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on with college kids today and young people, and how to keep them engaged, and you want to keep them out of trouble. You know, used to the way kids would come into college, you would, you know, they'd have a set of guidelines. You kind of put the fear of God into them to keep them from making mistakes. Now you're not trying to do that. You're trying to help them grow personally off the field, which you earn that trust. Now you're going to get it back on the field with their work ethic and practice. And I just think that's some of the biggest things that have changed. And what Urban was talking about right there is just being able to get the kids to buy in sooner by having them trust you. I think a kid is more likely to run through a wall for you if he knows you care about him and you trust him. And that's part of what he's talking about.
Now, you're a coach. You have been a coach, and you have a son playing on the team. Has your, I don't want to say softened, has your view changed in the way Urban's has regarding how much more important health, wealth, or education is now to students? The word student athlete is kind of like a joke to some people, but now there is more of a care and feeding attitude about these players. Have you seen that in the program? And if you were coaching, would you be more conscious of that?
Well, yeah, I think I think you can look at what Dan Mullen is doing already, and some of the things about you heard Urban call them exercises. I think Dan does the same type of things. The group exercises where you bring guys in and maybe somebody shares a story, or you have speakers, and everybody's always brought speakers in, but you got to have a guy with a message. And I think basically all you're trying to do is educate. College student athletes, football players are student athletes. Okay. They're here to get educated. Obviously, they want to go to the NFL. They want to play football, but you got to educate them off the field as well, and get them ready for life. You got class. Everybody's got class, but a lot of students have other real-world things they have to take care of. So in football, you kind of get lost in doing that. So I think the off season, you spend a lot of time in these things, these meetings, these types of exercises, or things that you do with your team to help educate them. It also builds camaraderie. It also builds trust, and that's what you need to win. You got to be able to trust your teammates, and so I do see it with Dan Mullen. I do see him doing some things to build team chemistry and camaraderie, and educate the people, the young people on the rights and wrongs. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if Brendan's ready back there to make the change, and go ahead and hear from Dan Hightower. We'll come back, and we'll tell you who's retiring, Brady. Big news about who's retiring.
Oh, boy, a big retirement?
And then you want to talk about Burrow going to LSU, Joe Burrow, a little bit, and we'll discuss that along with the rankings now. I've got the ranking. You're concerned maybe one of them might be too high for Florida. We'll talk about the magazines that you so accurately said would get people's attention and have. So let's go ahead and take a break. We're live at the World of Beer in Tioga Town Center. right here in the right close by the Newberry. The mayor of Newberry is here over twisting wires and what have you. So, Brendan, can we take a break and we'll come back and we've more for you right here, Brady and Buddy.
No one ever plans a car accident. Having a plan after you've been in one, however, can make a world of difference. Daniel L. Hightower has been fighting for accident victim justice in Ocala and statewide since 1976. After meeting with Dan and his team, you'll know your case matters, that you matter, and that Dan will fight hard to get you just results. If you've been severely injured through no fault of your own by a careless or reckless driver, you need Daniel L. Hightower.
Well, with us, it's a family-owned business. Majority of the employees are family. You know, no drugs, no alcohol. We do a lot of big, high contracts. We do a lot of governmental contracts. We do Sikorsky aircraft and E1 we've done for many years. And we carry, big general liability insurance policies. Knock on wood, since 1958, we've never had one claim. So there's not too many companies that can stand by that. Safety is very important to AAA Tree Service. Not only for our own employees, but for our customers as well. We take pride in going to their places. We treat it like it's our home, and we leave it the way as it would be if it would be our home. And we even go above and beyond. We do more than just trees. I mean, we trim hedges, we pressure wash, you name it. We get into doing anything that a customer needs. Call us at 873-3440, or on the website AAATreeService.com, or also on CenturyLink.com as well.
All right, welcome back. It's Brady and Buddy here from World of Beer, and we appreciate you checking us out on Facebook. Let's talk a little bit about Joe Burrow, to kind of put a bow on that storyline. One time considered a graduate transfer possibility to the University of Florida, and he ends up at LSU, which, by the way, they need a quarterback. There's no question that LSU could use a quarterback. It's interesting. I wonder if they're going to go to that spread run system with the quarterback, and if that's something that they're going to do, to feature his skill set in Joe Burrow. But it's a good move for LSU. It's a good move for the Tigers to get to him, because they don't really have a proven commodity there. They've been living in the graduate transfer world. But for Florida, it pretty much is what we've talked about. Florida's situation is they've got three guys ready to go. And all three guys, I think, will play. I think all three guys will have an opportunity to play. And it'll be interesting to see what evolves come October. There are some big games in September, but in fairness to all these guys, not a lot of experience other than Felipe. Or not any experience except for Felipe. So you would think he has the inside track based on experience. But we'll see as we go to camp with those three guys and what kind of different packages they have for Kadarius Toney or anyone else that can play the quarterback position. But Joe Burrow going to LSU means we'll get to see him, and they get him for 2 years. So, yeah, we'll get to see what he looks like. And, I'm okay with that. I think I don't think he was that much better than the three Florida already has. He might be, but I think Florida's, like I said before, I think Emory Jones is the default position. Everybody will get a chance, and then come October, one guy will be the starter. And I don't think any redshirting is going to be had this year. Everybody's ready to go. And what we've seen the last few years, you need two quarterbacks, really, no matter what team you are. Alabama, Georgia, both played for the national title last year. Both needed two quarterbacks. So Florida's got three. So hopefully two guys will emerge. But if all three are the same, again, it comes down to the other guys around them to make this team better.
Three is not too many. I used to think that, but today, not so much. I think it's a more physical game for the quarterbacks. They're not. It didn't used to be about the sacks getting hurt. Now it's about they carry the ball a lot. They physically take a beating. And the SEC schedule, 12 games, you're going to take a pounding if you have that kind of offense Dan Mullen has got. Are you concerned about that?
Not really. No, I think they run the quarterback 8 times a game. Last year, Fitzgerald ran it 21 times against Alabama, and everybody makes a big deal. The one thing about Dan Mullen, and Urban does this as well, they run what's working. That's why they're successful. How many coaches do you watch out there run a play, have success, and never come back to it? They just, time to go to the next one I worked on. they run what works. And if Nick Fitzgerald running against Alabama was working, that's why Dan Mullen called it. So, yeah, I mean, I guess there's some level of concern there, but these guys are going through a tremendous strength and conditioning program. They're all big physical guys, and I don't think Florida's going to run the quarterback 21 times every game. If they do, it's likely Emory Jones. I don't think it's the other two. But he's had success running it 8 or 9 times a game. Baker Mayfield, 8 or 9 times a game. You know, keep a defense honest. I think that's where Florida's quarterback will end up. Close to 100 carries, maybe, if they have one guy go the distance. But overall, I think, no, I'm not that concerned about it. Because if one guy gets hurt, I don't think there's a drop-off right now.
So
now, we haven't gotten to camp.
I
think everybody's even. I think Florida can win 8 or 9 games no matter who plays quarterback.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're all the same.
So you think the defense is that good?
No, I think Florida's going to run the football.
Okay.
I mean,
well, okay.
I mean,
let's see.
I know. I think they're going to run the ball 40 to 50 times a game. Mm-hmm. Whoever can get the ball to Jefferson and Grimes and the receivers, I think will be the best quarterback.
But wait a minute. Where is this wide open offense we have been talking about?
What are you talking about, wide open? Nobody. They don't want a wide open offense.
Are you kidding me? What did Dan himself say about people want points?
You can get points without running a wide open
every
offense.
time. You can't run the ball 50, 60 times a game and get 45 points.
Alabama does.
Georgia does. Alabama. They throw the ball, too. How'd they win a championship?
Georgia?
They didn't run it. They threw the ball for the winning touchdown. So, I mean, you got to throw the ball. You can't.
I'm not saying they're not going to throw the ball, buddy, but what you saw in the spring game is not what they're going to do.
As advertised, I'm talking about when he said, I know they want points here, and I know that we have got to have a wide open offense.
Do you think
I just answered a simple question.
Do you think the offense was wide open when Tebow was here?
Do
you really?
Wait,
I mean, because I can dissect that to a Cowboy. That's not a wide open offense.
Not my words.
Tebow threw for 3,000 yards.
Words, not my words. Okay? His word. They want points.
Anything looks points is good. You threw wide open in there.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you truly think Florida can average
30 points a game?
30 they could probably.
Oh my gosh. They don't ever.
All right, I'm just asking you
yes.
now. Running 50 times a game, you think they can score 45 points?
A game?
Against a good opponent?
45
They're
points
not going to run the ball against LSU 50 times a game successfully. They're not going to run the ball maybe against Florida State.
But you're not going to score 45 points on LSU. They're going to run the ball
against Georgia 45
Who scores 45 points on LSU's defense?
I don't know. That's why I said you're not going to. But I'm telling you, as advertised, it's about scoring points.
I was looking at this stat yesterday. Someone had said something. I tweeted about Scarlett again. I guess I've got a man crush on him, people are saying. And he said, will he average more yards per carry than Arias Williams? Arias Williams, a running back at Mississippi State last year, averaged 4.7 yards a carry. He's like 8th in the league in rushing. Good running back.
And a good division, too.
All right. So, I went back and looked at his numbers. In conference play, he averaged 3.9 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
So he got a bulk of his yards against the Patsies.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So Florida will run it for a bunch of yards against the Patsies, but against the big boys,
they're not going to run it 50
they're going to have
times
to throw the ball
That's all I want to say. Thank you. Thank you very much. You said Florida.
Wide open, no? Do you know what the definition? Mike Leach is wide open. Dan Mullen's not wide open. It's never been wide open.
No.
Ever.
But you know what? Urban's offense in his own way, because of the trick plays he would go for, the games, big games.
Coach to win, yeah.
I think wide open doesn't just mean throwing the ball all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's gambling. It's going for it on fourth down. It's trick plays.
Florida was 5 for 5 against Tennessee on fourth down under McElwain in 2016. Do you consider that offense wide open?
No. I don't consider Tennessee a real great team either. But anyway, that's another story. All right, look, I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to learn from you, Brady. You're the guru. You're the coach.
No, I just trying to. You got on me for giving you a vague question early in the program, and you just set me up with another vague question yourself.
That's a very precise question.
It was not a precise question.
I asked you
wide open.
You gave me the precise answer. You said 45, 50 times a game.
We're going to make first downs. Mississippi State made 21 first downs a game last year, second in the league.
Okay.
Last year,
fine.
Florida couldn't make a first down.
45 is fine.
We'll ask Spurrier if he wants first downs.
Yeah.
We want first downs.
I don't know. Well,
first downs and points. Well, but I do think if those two receivers are eligible, I think that helps everything. It'll help the passing game. But I think we're okay at quarterback. One of those guys. I'd like to see a new guy, but if he goes with Franks, okay. I like to see a new guy.
All right, 17 is too high. Athlon has some 17.
I'm just asking, is that too high?
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
say it was too high.
Okay, that's what I'm
Athlon's
asking.
came out, had the Gators ranked 17. I'm a homer. Of course I want Florida to be in the this 17 means they go 8-4, 9-3. I mean,
that's about
I want to
right.
be a top 10 team. I want to be 10-2.
Yeah, you think that's possible?
Let me wait, and I'll reserve comment on that.
That's fair. But you think 17 might be a little
Do you know
high.
why they picked them 17? Well, nobody. I say it's a little high because no one else has them that high. A lot of magazines, a lot of
why
magazines.
they picked them high?
No, they said it. They said because of their schedule. Florida has a favorable schedule, and because of Dan Mullen.
Favorable schedule, okay.
I agree with them. Florida does have a favorable
schedule. If you look at the SEC West, yes, you do. You know, you do have Georgia you got to play. You have LSU you got to play, and you have Florida State you have to play, and so on. Tennessee we don't know about yet. I don't think Tennessee's a factor. So we'll see.
At Mississippi State?
That's a hard game.
I think it's a hard game.
I mean,
I think that Florida's going to lose that game.
That's an L right there.
Yeah, that's a loss.
So what's favorable about going to Mississippi State? Not.
I think because the magazine sees Mississippi State as
That's exactly right.
And that's
you know what it's like to play out there on Mississippi State. We saw it.
Florida doesn't do very well in
Ask Urban how he did out there against his mentor.
He won.
Urban got beat by Dan. Yeah, he got beat by Dan out of Mississippi State.
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
No, he lost at home to Mississippi State. He beat him. He beat him there. I did the game on TV.
He beat him there and lost at home?
Yep.
You may be right.
Fact check us, Gator fans, on
you may be right.
Gator Nation Kingdom.
I would never.
I did the game in Mississippi. I mean, how many times did he go to Starkville?
I'd take your word for it.
He barely won. Tebow's worst game as a college player was against Mississippi State.
You may be right about
how about this trivia question? Tebow only threw 2 interceptions twice in games in his career. Against Oklahoma in the national title game and against Mississippi State and Dan Mullen.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I did that game on TV.
I know, Brady. You told me 3 times. I know you're a TV star.
I filled in for Nat Moore. Did the game with David Steele. Did I tell you I did color on that game?
No, you didn't tell me. What game was that?
We were actually not in a press box. Yeah. We were like in a handicapped section standing up. You know,
there's a line there, but I'm not going to use it.
It's supposed to be a handicap. We kicked the handicapped people out and took their spot for TV. That's not me. Don't sue me. That's Sunshine Network.
How do you like these picks? Athlon has Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Georgia 3, Ohio State 5, and Ohio State 4, Michigan 5. Street and Smith, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma, Lindy's, Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, Wisconsin sticks in there.
All the same.
Pretty much the same people.
Yeah, but some people like Wisconsin, some like Michigan State, some like Michigan. The Big Ten's a little bit hard to figure out, but pretty much the same teams.
Well, there's no anymore. You don't anymore see USC, Notre Dame,
Florida State.
You don't see them in there anymore. Florida State. Yeah, where are those teams gone, man? You know.
Tell you now, the Seminoles, didn't they start the season in the top 5 last year?
Yeah, because there was a big. Remember, it was a national championship
game. Let me just say this to you Seminole fans out there: we don't have any in the Gator Nation Kingdom, do we?
Remember Alabama?
Y'all all knocking Jimbo Fisher.
Alabama, FSU.
How many top 10s does Jimbo Fisher have?
People said this is how it wind up the season the same way. Alabama and FSU. Remember?
Yep. All I want to say is that I think Seminole fans are going to wish they had Jimbo Fisher back down the road.
I agree.
And I think they're crushing him right now for not going on 4th downs and all these things. They're loving the Willie Taggart. I'm saying every year Florida State was top 5, top 10 preseason. How long is it going to be before they are again?
We'll see.
Under Jimbo, they were.
Yeah, let's see. Things happen. All right, I'm going to give you some names. I'm going to give you. Here's new faces, new places.
Okay.
And here's some coaches.
Have some fun with this.
I'm going to throw you out half a dozen coaches, and you tell me what 2 of these coaches will have the best year. Okay.
Okay. 2 coaches, best year. I got it. Question.
Got it.
Got it. I retained it.
All right. Jimbo Fisher, Scott Frost, Chip Kelly, Dan Mullen, and Willie Taggart. Which 2 do you pick? I'll give you one more. Chad Morris, Arkansas.
He ain't going to do anything there.
All right.
Well, first of all, Scott Frost will have the best year. Yeah, he'll turn that thing around. Nebraska might win the division. So Scott Frost is a home run. He'll have the best year. I don't think Jimbo's going to have a great year. I don't think Taggart's going to have a great year. I haven't looked at Chip Kelly's schedule, but he lost Rosen. I'll go Dan Mullen. I'll say Scott Frost and Dan Mullen will have the two best years of those guys.
Right.
9 wins for Dan, 10 for Scott Frost.
9.
8
Going
for
9.
Jimbo.
Isn't that high?
Chip Kelly will go 8.
You went from 8-4 to 9 also?
I'm on 8. I'm between 8 and 9, but you put me on the spot there. I feel
all right.
better about Florida than I
change.
do UCLA.
You can change every day. It doesn't matter.
I do. I mean, next week I'll say they won 8. They're going to win 8.
There you go.
There
exactly.
you go.
That's good. That's all right. Now, we've had some changes besides there in other parts of the SEC, and this one really upsets me, okay?
Okay. You're upset again? You've been upset
retired.
a lot in this
The guy
show.
retired, okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, this is
It
devastating.
really is going to change this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Larry Culpepper.
He's retiring, or did he get forced out?
He got forced out.
Right.
You know his name?
Larry Culpepper?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper guy?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper guy, Larry Culpepper.
Yeah. You know his name?
Why would I? Why would I know Larry Culpepper?
Great trivia question, by the way.
Why is that a great trivia question? Nobody in the world knows that guy's name except his wife and his
That's why it's
kids.
a great trivia question.
So you don't want anybody to win.
Not
You like giving
necessarily.
trivia questions out so people don't win.
You're turning on me, aren't you?
Yeah, your level of your idea of a trivia question is let me tell you something nobody knows.
Where's Rebecca?
So I could keep this
Brady's
World of Beer
getting
gift
hangry
certificate
again.
Let me keep this World of Beer gift
He
certificate
gets
for
hangry
myself.
again. Okay.
Who?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Does
Bring him
anybody
some
know?
food. He's hangry.
Does anybody know who Larry Culpepper's real name is? What'd you say? Wilbur. All right.
I'm not going to tell you now.
Why? You don't even know it.
I know what it is.
Did you know it before you looked it
No,
up?
I did not. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know it.
What's
Anyway,
his name? Jim?
Yeah, Connor. Yeah,
Jim Connor.
yeah.
Jim Connor.
Yep. Apparently forced out. I'll always have that picture of Spurrier and
Were they in
Larry
the cold
Culpepper
tank? What'd they do?
in the bathtub with ice drinking a beer.
Cold tank.
That was
Coach was good at
He's
that.
kind of an interesting guy. I met him at SEC championship game. You know,
Yeah.
just a little thing. It's what makes the SEC what it is.
How long has that Dr. Pepper thing with Culpepper going? It's gone about, 4 or 5 years now?
Oh, it's been going at least that, yeah.
Yeah, it's about time. It's about running its course.
He's so tacky, he's good. All right?
Yeah, he was great.
Okay, who's your pick for worst coach of the year, okay? Worst record. This will be easy for you. Ready?
All right.
Jeremy Pruitt, Joe Moorhead, Matt Luke, or Herm Edwards.
Oh, definitely Herm Edwards.
Everybody's picking gloom and doom for Herm.
Herm Edwards might not win a game.
Why did Herm think he could coach college ball all of a sudden?
Yeah, he's not even coaching. He's a CEO.
Well,
the rest of those guys are going 6-6 at best.
Yeah.
But Herm Edwards isn't really. He's not really connected.
Right.
Yeah, that was a terrible, terrible hire. Horrible.
It was.
I like Herm Edwards as a motivational speaker. I liked him on TV.
Any final thoughts before we get the Crown Brett's back here and I do this tell you all about
Final
State
thoughts?
Bank?
No, I'm just glad that I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend. I'm sorry it's going to rain, so you'll have to bust your beach body out in June. Look forward to Instagram, see what where you end up.
You thought Jordan Scarlett looked good in his tight white uniforms?
Yeah.
What do you see?
Wait to see you. I can't wait. Nick Savage is going to roll it out on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Your photo.
Yeah. So you got plans? You're going to see the family?
I'm going to go see my mom.
Your mom. You said something about a rainy day in St. Augustine.
She lives in St. Augustine.
Was
It's going to be raining.
that a song? Rainy day in St. Augustine.
That pretzel looks good though. Rainy day in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
I can make it a song.
Could be a good song.
Could be a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you where the sun's shining. Center State Bank. They are centered on community and customer service. This is my bank. The one I go to is over on Silver Springs Boulevard. It looks like Tower from Gone with the Wind. A beautiful facility. Brady, we're going to have our meeting there in August 22nd when Megan Mullins comes to speak to us there.
Oh.
Quarterback Club will be there. Hopefully you'll be there. You're a member now. You have a shirt as well. And we're going to have a nice little dinner for our membership drive. And the folks at Center State are great about providing a facility for public use. On the second floor, Brady, you've been there, is just gorgeous up there what they do with that. So they're also a bank, by the way, and I like them because they know your name and they give you good service. Their core values are local market driven, long-term horizon, world-class service, relationship banking, faith and family. They have 82 locations in 30 Florida counties, including the ones in Lodgeway and Marion County. Centered on community and customer service, Center State Bank. Check them out. The number is 352-368-6800 or gmail.com. Well, another day, another dollar.
See you next week.
I hope so.
Almost June. The end of May next week.
It kind of gets like this.
Yep. Get to June and we got it. But May's the hardest month.
How's your son doing, by the way?
He's doing great.
All right.
How
my son's doing right now. Let's see.
He's ready for you to send it off to him.
Yeah, I think you give me the high sign. Get off the air.
I'm doing great. I just spilled the beer all over my keyboard, so,
Dilly dilly.
Hey, dilly dilly.
At least you have one. We don't have one. We have water.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly to you, bud. Good job on the show today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Dilly dilly to you guys. Good show. Did you had a hard time hearing something, buddy? You looked like you were having trouble.
Echoes. Feedback.
For some reason or another, wire someplace we couldn't.
Feedback.
We had a little feedback, and then we couldn't hear each other. But anyway, we found a cord. Our master technician. Great job by our new master technician. We'll get a shot of him over here someplace.
Yeah, take the camera. Bring him over there.
Yeah, let's get this. Brady, turn this camera around over Nat Blaylock over here. Right here. Let's shine over there on Nat. Show what he's been doing the whole time. A little bit more. There he is right there. The mayor of Newberry's over there twisting wires, man. He's going to get us organized. Great job, Nat. Appreciate it, buddy. And his daughter Maddie's over here, too, someplace right behind him. So thanks a lot. Thanks to look who's here. I think Chad wants to give you something. I don't know. All right, that'll wrap it up here from World of Beer. Thanks to Brendan Martin. Thanks to you, all the people in Gator Nation. We'll be off on Monday, by the way, just so you know. It's a holiday. But tomorrow we're back on the program. Crown Prince, are we going morning tomorrow? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we'll try to go in the mornings tomorrow. So.
10:30. All right, 10:30 tomorrow. Check it out. We'll be there. All right? Thanks. Have a good night, everybody.